Yeah.
Dusty, I want to deal with these lists you had us do, man.
Well, I was just about to get to that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm looking at the clock. All right, so I actually, this is kind of, if you remember, I sent you guys an email a couple of weeks ago, but it's kind of like breaking news in a little bit. You know, I don't think anyone else has kind of covered this, so to speak. But so anyway, I had a friend of mine who works in the well, he works in industry. We'll put it that way. I don't want to reveal too much of what he was doing to kind of out him in the information that was ultimately provided to me. But so anyway, there's this thing called One Day U, okay, and it's a program where you can go and get kind of college level courses. I think it's a combination online and as in the case was this, and the reason why my friend was there, it was a seminar, right? Held a conference lecture held at a hotel conference room, something like that, a couple hundred people, that sort of thing. And excuse me. So anyway, the gentleman speaking on this particular day, his name was William Burke White, okay? And just to give you a little background on him, if you Wikipedia him or you Google him, you get he's an expert on international law and global governance. He served in the Obama administration from 2009 to 2011 on Secretary Clinton's policy planning staff, providing the Secretary direct policy advice on multilateral diplomacy and international institutions. And he was the principal drafter of the Quadrennial Diplomacy and Development Review, Secretary Clinton's hallmark foreign policy and institutional reform effort. And he was also a part of the Bill Clinton administration. So he was a part of two administrations. So no small potatoes by any means. The man has some pull in the years of some much more powerful motherfuckers, right? Now, the course outline for this particular day, and they had a few different speakers. A reporter from Fox News was there, just to give you kind of an idea. But the course outline for his lecture was, who are the real influences on the world stage? Who makes the decisions that determine war and peace, economic growth or stagnation, global cooperation, or political stagnation? This lecture answers those questions by examining how we think about power and influence in international politics. We will consider traditional answers based on military might and examine how globalization, technology, ideology, and economic interdependence are changing the ways we think about power and influence. Sounds pretty heavy, right?
Absolutely. And, I'm just looking up One Day University online a little bit. They have a pretty impressive record.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really interesting people on their staff and whatnot. I'm impressed.
Yeah, this guy, like I said, no small potatoes. He graduated from Harvard. He's taught at Penn State, Duke. So a relatively influential man, right? Certainly. As far as educating our young minds out there and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, so for his thing, he had a list, and I don't know why, but for some reason he had the top 5 most powerful people in the world. And then he expanded it during the show to 10. Okay? I'm telling you guys right now, this is why, for you freaks that are listening, real quick today, I shot an email to Atomizer and Bax and said, write down as many names as you can think of without really thinking about it, who you think would be, in the top 10 of most influential / powerful people in the world.
Right. And I'm just going to say that I'm betting that that mine are all wrong, and that the real top 10 most powerful people in the world are probably people we've never even heard of. But
yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. There's a few you probably haven't heard of.
Okay.
I think I actually think you've heard of everybody, but it's going to blow your mind. The only thing I'm wondering here, we've got about 20 minutes left. I don't know what's going to be the best way to do. Like, do you guys just want to throw out a few names of who you have on your list, just real quick?
Yeah, I'm definitely prepared for that. My thing was you told us to do 10. I agonized over who wasn't going on the list.
Okay.
So I actually like just a couple names that I really thought about putting on here, half as a joke and half as being serious, was Sarah Palin, because the entire American right wing seems to eat up anything that woman says, no matter how stupid. And Ronald Reagan, because even dead, if you invoke his name, you basically get the ear of half of America. I left those off, and I'll just run through real quick the names I did keep.
Okay.
And I bumped a few people like Ted Turner and Michael Bloomberg, because you could go in any direction with these. You could look at bankers.
You really can.
Yeah, you could look at media moguls. You could look at, I stayed away for the most part from politicians, but I did put as my number 10 Hillary Clinton, just because I think she really does wield that kind of influence, both politically and economically. She's worked with the board of Walmart before. She's up there. Ann Cox Chambers, who owns Cox Broadcasting, was actually twice as rich as Rupert Murdoch. The Rockefellers as a family, the Bushes as a family, Ban Ki-moon, the guy who is the secretary for the UN, Janet Yellen, of course, who runs the Federal Reserve, Warren Buffett. I'm going up the list from the bottom. Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, of course, Rupert Murdoch, and I put right at the top of the list Charles and David Koch.
Good list.
You have one. Zero. Zero.
Oh, wow.
Zero.
Zero, huh?
I know. When I give you the list, man, I mean, you're going to be blown away. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder if I would have done better if I had included more politicians, but
It's no, not really.
So I have to get one.
So you have to get one. All right, Pax. Let's hear your top 10 most powerful movers and shakers of the planet.
Okay, I didn't do I didn't number them 1 to 10. I just kind of threw some people on here. Okay.
No worries.
As a twofer, I've got Larry Page and I think it's Sergey Brin, the guys from Google, the founder and co-founder.
Yeah.
Mario Draghi, the EU central bank dude, and then I also have that Yellen Bernanke and Yellen, the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
I've got Zuckerberg on there.
Okay.
Pope Francis, because he's the friggin' Pope.
Yeah.
Now, Xi Jinping, is that his name? I wasn't sure.
It is.
It's the Communist Party. Yeah. Okay. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
The Waltons. I'm not really sure who has controlling interest, but just the Waltons.
Right.
Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce Abdullah Al Saud. I can't. He's got a much longer name, but he owns 20% of the world's oil reserves, or something crazy like that.
Okay. Who's he, a Saudi?
And and Warren Buffett. And and I had the guy that owns Amazon. I can't remember his name.
Okay. Amazon guy. All right.
Might be
Back.
Bezos.
You did pretty well. You did pretty well. You got 3 of the 10.
Oh, wow. Coming in at 30%.
You got 3 of the 10. All right. So now what I'll do is I'll give you the 10 in the order that he had them. Okay, and so you can see where they placed. I won't tell you who you got right yet. All right?
Okay.
Now, again, you have to keep the backdrop in mind that of how he sets the stage, talking about power and influence on military might. Okay?
Right.
Number 10, Elon Musk. Now,
I thought about putting him on there.
Yep. I don't know how you get a gig raking in millions in government grants and credits to produce absolutely nothing. You know, I'm actually wondering if there's like an application I can fill out. But if you don't know what I mean by that, you know,
he's got that Tesla battery, that new solar wall.
Yeah, go take a look at the Tesla corporate model. It's crony capitalism at its absolute finest. Number 9, just kind of keeping an eye on the clock here as well. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, or the Caliph Ibrahim. Once again, U.S. taxpayer money hard at work. And that's straight up too, my fellow freaks. We have been funding and arming ISIS into the global menace they are. So he is the current of ISIS. And one who kind of makes sense on this list, right? You know, again, Elon Musk, I mean, very wealthy guy, but, you know, military might and influence over, you know, others. I mean, I would put almost everyone on your list, Atomizer, over Elon Musk. Like
I deliberately left him off. I mean, you know, especially we weren't talking military might when we made the list, but nonetheless, I think he's lacking. I mean, I would say there's a lot of people out there don't even know who he is.
Oh, and I haven't even got started yet. Number 8, Jack Ma, the Chinese internet mogul. You can't keep Jack Ma off this list. No, but seriously, according to Wiki, I didn't really care too much about reliable info here, but according to Wiki, at a conference in 2010, Ma revealed that he has never actually written a line of code nor made one sale to a customer. He encountered a computer for the first time at age 33. Yeah, sounds like a real powerhouse this guy does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you read his story, I mean, it looks like to me that he was simply in the right place at the right time. He started a website, raked in the dough, but again, going back to Burke's standards, you know, this guy who worked for 2 administrations.
Right.
Where's the military power? And it's just we do find it with number 7, and again, another one that makes sense. Kim Jong-un.
I thought about him too, but I don't think North Korea has enough power to put him down. That's why I skipped him.
Right. Well, he is a psychotic dictator with a nuclear arsenal. Right.
Fair enough.
So
who isn't these days? You know what I mean?
Fair enough. And as an aside, in case you haven't seen it, The Interview, it's a funny ass movie. I highly recommend it. It's a very funny movie.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Oh, shit, that was good.
I feel I really need to prep you a little for the next one that's coming because it's fucking mind-blowing. And I've said it a couple times. I'm going to repeat it. Wasn't some list that I pulled off of WhoGivesAFlyingFuck.com. This Burke guy has served 2 administrations and, as you know, as I read, considered an expert in international law and global governance. Number 6.
Not Kim Kardashian.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, come on.
Angelina Jolie.
You're yanking on Shane at this.
I am
Kim
not.
Kardashian has more fucking influence than Angelina Jolie. I mean, I didn't put it on either of them.
Like you real quick looked at One Day You. Impressive credentials. This man got up in front of a packed room with a slide. And Angelina.
I take back everything I said about One Day University.
Right. I mean, you know, I don't know what
Tomb Raider guy.
What's that?
She's freaking Tomb Raider. What the hell?
I know. I mean, even if you're gonna pick a celebrity, I mean, she doesn't even have that big an audience compared to a lot of other celebrities. Justin Bieber, for fuck's sake, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured that if you have some cash and a track record of, you know, marrying a talentless prick like Billy Bob Thornton and cutting your own tits off just to make a point, I guess the crazy factor runs pretty high, right? Like, holy shit, this chick is capable of anything, right?
Wow. That's all
I can't wait to hear the rest of this. I can't wait.
I'm going to call One Day University and ask for my tuition back. Holy fuck.
Yeah. My biggest question is, how did this make Kim Jong-un feel?
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't even know where that was going to war.
Right. Fucking Angelina Jolie!
Yeah, he didn't have a short complex before, and now he's fucking behind Angelina Jolie on the list of most powerful people. He's going to be pissed.
Oh, and I tell you, when my buddy who was at this event, right, he came over and another mutual buddy of mine, and we were drinking pretty good that night, and he broke, like, he had just that week did this gig, and oh my God, man, like we just, once he hit Angelina Jolie, we just didn't stop, you know, and all next week, you know. My friends texted me a picture of Angelina Jolie at the fucking United Nations, and you better be careful what you say.
Like a mega crush on Angelina Jolie. He really wants to fuck Angelina Jolie, so he figured he'd put her name in this fucking list in the hopes that she would hear about it. And, you know.
Which I can completely understand if that's the case, right? But
yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, you know, pussy's pussy. I understand.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but
all right, well, he is on my list. Fuck.
All right, number 5, I think this is the first correct answer from Bax. It is Sergey Brin and Larry Page, co-founders of Google.
That does make sense. They could exert a lot of influence if they aren't already, if they chose to. They certainly could. I don't know if I think that, you know, you can do that by owning Facebook or whatever, you know, as far as influencing the paradigm of the public, but certainly Google can.
Yeah, I mean, more cash than a lot of sovereign nations and access to pretty much everyone's shit, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
the main thing is controlling what people get when they search Google. I mean, that is just such a control over society that's immeasurable.
They dwarf all other internet service providers by a long shot.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But, so there you go, Bax. You chimed in right there. And like I said, you had 3 right. So, you know, you got 2 more coming in the top 5. So, or the top 4 at this point. Number 4, our second and final female of the top 10. And it's another, well, no, I guess it's not really. Angela Merkel.
Germany, right? No.
Yes, Germany. Germany, right? Another head scratcher for me, right? Really? Angie Merkel?
Well, I guess she's got a lot of pull in the EU, which is a large group. I guess that's the idea behind that, would be my thought.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. I think the scars are still on deep, right? I mean, anytime someone kicks up a little dirt and gets some power in the fatherland,
yeah, that's true. She would be the first to be put down if she started to get uppity.
Pat Oswald has a great
if you want to,
you thought
about Angela Merkel, she earned her doctorate as a physical chemist, and she went on to teach for a little while when the Fraulein married one of her students, and it didn't last, sadly. Yeah, it didn't last. It didn't last. It lasted like 3-4 years. And now she winded up with a quantum chemist. So I don't know. Maybe that's what Burke figures, that she can be like making some custom designed bioweapon or something. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Are there still sanctions on Germany doing that shit?
Let's hope so. All right, number 3. Facts. The Pope.
Yeah. The friggin' Pope.
Yeah, the Pope. The sad news
that was a good answer. I think that was a solid answer, yeah.
Yeah. The sad news is it's probably true, right?
Yeah.
the Pope's been cracking this top 10 for like 1,500 years.
Not to mention the connection with Sweden and all that comes with that.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't Borgia days where he's king of the world anymore, but, he has enough influence on enough people. I'm definitely buying that one. Certainly more than Angelina Jolie does,
Right, and probably sitting on more, silver, gold, art.
Switzerland, not Sweden.
Everything else, right?
Sorry.
And don't forget the Swiss Guard, because they have really stealthy uniforms.
They're snappy.
All right, we're coming down the wire. All right, so the last two were actually kind of anticlimactic. Now that in light of the other.
You're not going to top Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, exactly. The only way it really gets more kind of intriguing is that you consider some of the 50 or 100 people that probably should be on this list that aren't.
Right.
But so I'm just going to reel up the next kind of the next two. They do at least make some sense to me in that you figure they would be on this list somewhere. Both rulers of large nations with a fucking shitload of nukes. Number two was your boy Bax, Xi Jinping, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. And number one, can you hear that? Anyone else? Can you chime in right now? Vlad.
Was it?
Vladimir Putin, number one, most powerful man on the planet.
I read an article comparing his power to Obama's, and it was very specific in showing the reasons that Putin should be thought of as much more powerful than Obama. But I think, the obvious reason is that Russia is a lot more controlled, not a lot more anyways, but there's a lot more power, I think, that goes with his position.
Oh, absolutely. And the control of the media, too, is a big boon to his just control overall.
Yeah. I think he does wield a shit ton of power. I mean, not like an American politician, not like anything we could compare it to over here.
Right, but I think that gap is closing every single day. I mean, to say Barack, doesn't pretty much do what he wants when he wants, and or control the media, I think would be,
I don't know
disingenuous
about that. The man's got bosses. The man answers to people. You know what I mean?
That is true. See, that is true. I mean, he does have the hand in the back and strings attached and everything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think his record, given his records before being president and after being president, kind of indicate that pretty well.
Yeah. So really, it's all quite amazing. Again, especially considering the source that put this list out. And this is a guy that's educating our youths. Leader of the free world. No, not on there. Hillary, I thought was a great answer by you. I mean, certainly when you talk about Angelina Jolie, I think Hillary Clinton wields a little more power. But I mean, amazing, right? I mean, just right down the line. No Rockefellers, no Rothschild. What about Henry Kissinger? Kissinger.
I think this whole thing was just staged as a love letter to Angelina Jolie. That's what I think.
It must have been, because I have a feeling if Henry Kissinger gives the word that Jack Ma, if Henry Kissinger gives the word, Jack Ma is waking up in some Shanghai alley face down naked without two jowls to rub together. That's what I fucking think.
I would agree.
No Soros, no Koch brothers, Billy Gates.
I thought about Soros, too. I had him on the list at one point, took him off. Anyway, so we are down to our last 10 seconds. I hope you fellas enjoyed that as much as I did. I've been kind of sitting on it for 2 weeks now, and it's, oh, man, yeah. So spread the Angelina Jolie propaganda. Fellas, Bax, Atomizer, thank you very much. Thank all you freaks for listening and tuning in this week. Let's see you on Facebook. Let's see you on Twitter. Let's start spreading the word. Had a great time.
Until next week, I'm Crafty, he's Atomizer and Bax, and we are out. Thanks, fellas.
Good night.
Have a good one.